Well, good evening, YouTube. Good evening, Rumble. Happy Friday, and I really hope this is working all right. And Nordic, hello to you. Just when you thought it was safe to explore Vvardenfell, Maelstrom appears. Good evening, Miss B. How are you tonight? Drive-by coming in, saying hi, all. So, it has been a lovely past 3 days. I might be a little sarcastic right now. I have done a lot of things, Nordic. First and foremost, RIP to my poor PC. My computer has died. I'm hoping to revive it somehow, but I'm gonna have to figure out which bit of hardware has turned into a zombie on me. But yes, a couple of days ago, it decided to start doing a big old reboot, freeze, reboot, freeze. Oh, I'll be fine for a little while. Reboot. So, yeah. At first, thought it was just software related. Did all the things, did all the checks. Came to the conclusion that Windows 10 was a spaghetti code mess. And it probably was, because it hadn't been refreshed in ages. Oh, hello. And decided it was also a perfect time to upgrade my OS from Windows to Linux. Which somehow amazingly managed to get that done, thanks to a little help. So I got Garuda Dragonized Gaming installed on it. It is, but the reboots continued. At that point, I realized that it wasn't just the software. Something in my computer is fried. And as to answer your question, did it die because of human anger or virus? Neither. It died because I live out in the country, and every time there's a rain heavier than a slight tinkle, the power has a pretty good chance of going out. So when your computer gets hit with power outages on a somewhat regular basis, guess what happens? It eventually fries your computer. And that is what has happened. Yes, it got power surged. And it got power surged enough that something has finally gotten a little too toasty. So I gotta figure out if it's the power supply. Oh, dude, quit telling me about Lord Dagoth. I don't give a flying fig about Lord Dagoth. So take your lord and go.
Someone should teach you.
Go take a flying leap. I actually got myself a UPS, but by that point it was already too late. Unfortunately. But, yeah, I have to figure out if it's the power supply, if it's the motherboard, if it's perhaps the GPU or the CPU. If it's just the power supply, that is probably going to be a cheap fix. The power supply for my HP is only about 50-ish bucks. If it's the motherboard, it's gonna choke me because it's like about $200. If it's it isn't too, yeah, except that you know, money's a little tight. And if it's multiple items, it's probably not even going to be worth fixing at this point because it is almost 5 years old. And fortunately for me, at the moment, I have been loaned an older gaming laptop. Yeah, see, I can't right now. It wasn't anywhere near being in the books for at least until near the end of the year. And I even I even talked to Grok about setting up some sort of PC for me, and the nice little mid-tier but really decent gaming PC that I dreamed up with him, still going to cost about $1,600. So yeah. In the meantime, I'm hoping the fix for my machine is going to be cheap. But for now, I've got a temporary loaner of an older gaming laptop. You have a first-gen Ryzen gaming PC. I'm using, I don't know what it is. It's an Asus something gaming laptop. Actually has a video card in it that's better than my gaming PC. Oh, bite me. Maybe we should go sleep before we go anywhere, huh? At this point, this desktop is pushing 8 years old. Yours is actually older than mine. So yeah, you know what I mean.
Get out of here.
Oh, get out of here yourself. Let's go get some sleep first. Then we'll see what trouble we get into. But yeah, that's how things have been going. I consider myself blessed that there was a gaming laptop for me to get loaned. So there is that. I'm blessed that the majority of the games and game saves were on the secondary PC that actually runs the games, which again is kind of a loner. And neither of those belong to me. They belong to my roommate. Hello, drive-by. But smack the Argonian. It's testy and annoying. It is. I'd like to beat the living bleep out of her. But oh, one sad thing though. Unfortunately, yeah, well, if I do a drive-by hammering of the Argonian, I'll have the guards on top of me faster than flies find a horse patty, because that'd be a big no-no. I'd have to get her to attack me first. Laptop is a strict SCAR 2, 8th Gen i7, and an RTX 2070. Oh, by the way, how do I sound? It took me a while to fiddle with the microphone, with the fiddle with the, yeah, what am I thinking? Wow, my brain, I swear I have one. The filters. The filters for the microphone. And for a while I was having trouble. I was cutting in and out. You have a brain, you also have several other brains for sale. If that's going. I might have to take you up on that at some point. But yeah, I'm hoping I kind of got rid of the choppiness. And that I'm not too loud at the same time. Okay, that's right. He promoted me to apprentice in the Blades, and I'm supposed to just go out and find some trouble for a little while. And give your brain dead discount. You're apprentice blade, but use a warhammer. Hey, whatever works, right? He doesn't seem too picky about what weapon I use. But yeah, I had to reset my OBS. On the bright side, my OBS is actually set up nice and neatly instead of being an absolute hot mess that it was, because I had really janky profiles from 4 years of learning OBS on my own. I now am starting to create nice, neat, tidy profiles that are customized for, well, the profile I'm on right now is customized specifically for streaming. I'm quite pleased with that. That's very much progress. But as I was saying, on the downside, I did lose one thing. I lost my Skyrim playthrough. So, rip for Arlena, the battle mage. I do have her save files. However, the game and all the mods are gone. I'm thinking I'm going to have to reinstall Skyrim on. I still have yet to beat the main quest in Skyrim. It's been 14 years. Well, I haven't gotten past, I got up to where I went and visited the old men in the mountaintop, and they said, yeah, you are, Dragonborn. And they said, okay, you need to prove your worth. You need to go grab this horn. And I've never gone to grab the horn. I've just been wandering around doing all these different quests. The Greybeards in High Hrothgar, yeah. And I've never gotten back to the Greybeards. So that's as far as I've gotten the main quest. I've done all this side stuff. But you not only grabbed it, but you tooted it. See, I haven't even gotten to that point. Did a lot of other stuff, though. Had a lot of fun doing it. But I'm going to have to reinstall it, probably on the machine that's running Morrowind. I'm going to have to go through and find and reinstall the mods. Only this time, I'm going to do it very not cautiously, efficiently. I'm going to test everything. I'm going to make sure it all works properly, like it should, before I even start a playthrough. Then I'm going to see if Arlena's save will actually run. If not, I guess we get to start over with a brand new character. If it does, yay. If not, like I said, we'll start over. All I know absolutely for certain is that Inigo and Shirley are absolutely returning as companions. Because I will not be going anywhere without them. They are my favorites. Inigo because, well, Inigo's just awesome. And Grandma Shirley because, well, it's Grandma Shirley. Very foggy out here right now. Inigo is the Khajiit who is always hungry, right? Inigo is the Khajiit. He probably is always hungry. His favorite food is sweet rolls. In fact, if you give him sweet rolls and y'all are not doing anything, he will actually eat all the sweet rolls. No matter how many sweet rolls you give him. If you're standing around doing nothing and he has sweet rolls in his bag, you will start hearing him go chomp, chomp, chomp. And he will eat and eat and eat until he's eaten every single one of these sweet rolls you have given him. And it's probably no wonder that he's always hungry because he used to be hooked on skooma. But he is no longer hooked on skooma. He also thinks that he tried to kill you. And that y'all used to be partners. Not, I mean, like, business partners. Not partners. You know what's funny in Skyrim? The Khajiit are not allowed in towns. But if the Dragonborn is Khajiit, he or she can enter towns. Yeah. I've noticed that. I've noticed that the Khajiit only hang out outside of towns. Yep, we have to cure ourselves. That's easy. But yeah. You're welcome for suggesting you get that spell. Well, thank you. And now with my restoration up pretty high, I can use that spell pretty well even when my fatigue is high. So, yay for that. Oh, look at the crabs down there. Let's get us some crab meat. Oh, there's a lot of crabs down here. Ooh, free food. Hi. Of course, that means I'm also going to have to get that. That's just being a bully. Those poor crabs are not bothering anyway. Please cook me some of the crab meat, though. I've never had crab. You've never had crab? Actually, crab is a very good, very tasty. That one was offered me nothing? Shame on it. Oh, look, another one of those beasts. One of the downsides of having to redo my playthrough, if I do, is going to be having to re-get the ship, the Scarlet. Well, it made you scream a bit, so there's that. Oh, look, Nick's Hound. A couple of them, I think. At least one. How are we on weight? Very good. Nothing there. Alright, no diseases. You probably, I don't know if you can hear her. I don't know how well this mic is set up, but Miss Carol says hello. Alright, so where are we at? We are at... Grand Plantation? Let me get my fur baby to say hello back. He's being a dork downstairs right now. Now, you trust me. He, doesn't particularly like other cats. She doesn't even like her own brother half the time. Like, she likes to beat up on him every chance she gets. So we're near Vivek. I wonder if we have anything we can do in Vivek. I guess it wouldn't hurt to look. My dorky cat just likes to follow me around like a lost puppy dog. It's adorable. He even greets me at the bottom of the step. That would be, well, both Miss Carol and Ernest, her brother. Particularly Ernest. They both like to follow me around everywhere. And I do literally mean everywhere. There is no such thing as privacy. If I happen to manage to get out of their sight without them knowing about it, they start meowing piteously until they find me. I don't let him in these two rooms because he wrecks the joint. I mean, I probably really shouldn't let them in here. But they do get to come in here. Oh, I have 2 rules for cats. No counters and no tables. Well, those rules stand here, too. I mean, that's just common sense rules. You know? No cat should be on a counter or a table. Basically, no cat should be on a surface where food is prepared. You know? Oh, yeah. That was Drive-By saying that, and yes, absolutely. He got on air, wrecked 2 of my games. Now he's not allowed in at all. No, I guess I could see that. If he wrecked something you were working on, and you want to keep him from doing it again, then yeah, I would absolutely not be allowing him back in the room. If he's got free reign of the rest of the house and he's only missing a room or 2, it's not like the end of the world. Oh, excuse me? At any rate, you were asking if I had upgraded the chatbot. What I did was since Social Stream Ninja hadn't seemed to be working lately, I went looking for an alternative, and the closest thing I found to what I wanted to do was a chat box that is by Streamlabs. Of course, it required me to have a free Streamlabs account, all that fun horse hooey. But I set it up. Unfortunately, it does not work for the Rumble end, but I set it up. It does seem to be working. I'm going to go ahead and save here, just in case this person's going to try to kill me. And it does what I need it to do. It pops up the message on the screen, and it gives me a sound alert, so I know to look over and see what somebody has said. I'm happy about that. Not a huge fan of Streamlabs, but I do like this particular plugin, so I guess there is that. Right, who are you? Why are you standing here?
Just a friendly warning. Don't spook the Netch. Don't worry. They're completely safe if you don't bother them. But get them riled up, and they're trouble. Especially the Betty Netch.
What's a Betty Netch?
The Betty Netch is the tough one. It's the Bull Netch that's poisonous, but the Betty Netch is twice as tough and twice as mean.
Okay. And what about the Bull Netch?
Normally a single Betty Netch will have a harem of 5 or 6 Bull Netch, but we keep the Bull Betty ration closer to 1-to-1 for faster breeding. Tends to make our Betty Netch a little more aggressive than they are in the wild.
Okay. Don't piss off the Netches. Gotcha. You're debating between cheeseburgers or pizza. Cheeseburgers sound good, but pizza makes the meat spread longer. Burgers? Okay. Me, I had some leftover beef and potato soup. Because trying to get things reset up took up a lot of time, and I didn't, heating up leftovers was just easy. And they were tasty. They were very tasty. So, no complaints. And who are you? And should I worry about you?
Probably nothing.
Alright, who are you?
An outlander, but make it quick. Pardon me. You look like you could use some extra cash. Perhaps you could be of some use to Raleigh and me.
Alright, and how can I be of some use to you?
You see, Raleigh and I are heading to Vivek to deliver this shipment of clothing to Agrippina Herinia the Clothier. Truly, it's some of the finest clothing you'll ever see. Perhaps I could interest you in some. Well, regardless, I've heard rumor that the road to Vivek has become rather dangerous of late. Perhaps you'd be willing to escort the two of us. Raleigh and I would be most appreciative and would be willing to offer some compensation.
Sure, I can help you.
There's a good fellow. See, Raleigh, I told you there are still some good folks in these lands. Raleigh's become such a pessimist in his old age, but I told him we'd find someone to help. When we get there, I'll reward you. I think 200 septums seems fair. How about the three of us get going?
Sure. So, we are heading that way. And could y'all stay somewhat close? I know I move fast, but I'm assuming you can move faster than a snail. Do the North Shuffle. I don't think she knows how to shuffle at this point. Honestly.
Where's that slave? Here not long ago.
Well, Marceline, we're getting very close to the city, and they don't let big old gore like Rolly here inside the walls. Seems a shame, since he's such a personable sort. Isn't that right, Rolly? Anyway, from here, you and I can travel on to Agrippina's alone. Alright, and where is Agrippina? She's a clothier in Vivec. Her shop is in the canal works of the foreign quarter. Sells a nice selection of fine clothing, some provided by yours truly, and transported with care by Raleigh. Okay. Shall we continue on? Yes, let's go. Excellent. Let's be on our way. So, what shall be the feature presentation of the evening? The Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim, the Last Duel, or Howl's Moving Castle? Oh, definitely Howl's Moving Castle. Drive by, which way do you vote? See if he's paying attention. Alright, he said canal works. Canal works in the foreign quarter. Oh look, that's a wall. I should probably, I don't know, pay attention to where I'm going. Which part are we in? Foreign quarter. Oh, there you are.
Not now, Outlander. Head on. By the three, my rights and duties.
I need the clothier. Excuse me. That's the healer. You better step away for a few minutes and make something to eat. Your stomach is rioting. Okay. Well, we will be here. That's the bookseller, so we need to go on the other side. Tell your good friend Jobasha you said hello? Okay, I will. Maybe I'll even go see if he has a book to read. Since we're here anyway, might as well. He usually has something good.
We're watching you.
You'll be back in about 20ish? Alright. That's the tomb. Definitely don't want to go there.
To the three, the spirits and thy lords.
That's the trader. Ah! We've made it. I thank you for your help, and Raleigh would if he were allowed in the city. I really must speak with someone about that. Think how much he'd enjoy visiting this place. He'd be talking about it for days. Oh, I suppose you're wondering about compensation for your trouble? Sure. Certainly. The two of us are more than glad to give you your fee. We'd like to thank you again for your companionship. It gets a bit lonely on the road, and sometimes Raleigh gets awful quiet on long trips. He's getting a little moody in his old age. Take care, stranger. 200 gold has been added to your inventory. Oh, thank you. I'm glad I could be of some use.
Watch yourself. We'll have no trouble here.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yourself. We'll have no trouble here. Go ahead. Probably nothing. What do you want? Keep it up if you really want to make me mad.
Oh, well, we failed at the persuasion check. That figures. Here he was being so nice a minute ago. Now, not so much. Alright, it just does cut across. Okay. Oh, we got some free gold. Let's go spend it. Maybe we should, I don't know, sell some stuff too while we're at it. This is Simone. This is not the one I want. I want Jabasha. And I always have trouble finding Jabasha, and then Nordic has fun laughing at me because I had trouble finding Jabasha. Because Jabasha's, I don't think, down here. He's somewhere else. That's the other bookseller. It's down here. Jabasha is...
We're watching you, scum.
Bite me. Probably going to end up with another athletics point at this rate. I sit here and I keep hoping to hear some sort of word about Skywind or Skyblivion. Preferably something saying that they're coming out really soon. Nothing yet. That's the Corner Club. And now Miss Carol is being very, very chatty. Don't ask me what she's saying. I just know she's talking. I don't speak her language. That's the enchanter. Although every once in a while, she makes a noise that clearly sounds like Mama.
Let's not make this official, Outlander. Move along. Where is that slave?
Nope. Where is Joe Basha? Ah, the apothecary. The alchemist. Joe Basha. Okay. Joe Basha. Joe Basha, my friend.
Here for trouble, you'll get more than you bargain for.
Joe Basha, dear. Hello.
What do you want?
Oh, I would like to border with you. So we have read Mixed Unit Tactics. We've read Mysticism. We've read Vampires of Vvardenfell, though I want to read it again. Special Flora of Tamriel. What else do you have for me? Dance and Fire. Yikes, those are expensive. A Less Rude Song. Ancestors and the Dunmer. Antidotes of Dwemer Law. Biography of Baronzaya. For 3 volumes. Ow. 4th. Thea's Gloria. First 4 volumes, A Brief History of the Empire. Aram's part of Anaquina. At right in my screen. Chronicles of Clift. Confessions of a Skooma Eater. Gee, I didn't know Inigo was in this age. A Fragment on Orteum. Grasping Fortune. And so I have a cat on my hand now. Alright. Move. Eat. That's your love. Invocation of Azura. Legions of the Dead. This costs 0 coin. Grab one. Lives of the Saints. Mixed Unit Tactics, which, like I said, we've read. We should probably sell it back. Mysterious Akavir. Agasta Gavada Galakis. That's a mouthful, and it's also very expensive. On Oblivion. Origin of the Mages Guild. Overview of Gods and Worship. Progress of Truth. Reflections on Cult Worship. Sorioni's Sermons. Spirit of Nirn, Nirn, god of mortals. The annotated and Wad. The Anticipations. The Arcturian Heresy. The Balladeer's Fake Book. The Book of Daedra. The Book of Dawn and Dusk, which we've read. The Brothers of Darkness. That sounds like a vampire thing. The Cantatas of Vivec. The Changed Ones. The Consolations of Prayer. The Doors of the Serpent. The Eastern Provinces. The Firmament. The House of Troubles. The Madness of Pelagius. The Monomyth. What the Madness of Pelagius? The Old Ways. The Pilgrim's Path, which we already owned. A bunch of copies of this, too. The Real Baron Zaya, 5 volumes. Wild Elves. I want that, too. Vampires of Vvardenfell, Volume 2. Okay, I'll get that. Kind of pricey, though. Oh, that Vampires of Vvardenfell Volume 2 is expensive. Man, maybe not. Maybe you won't get it right now. I think it's 400 gold, I just realized. Okay, let's see what we got here. So, start with ones that says we've read. Fixed unit tactics. Pages is this? I'm not going to find out if I close it. It's not as long as I thought. The legions could learn from the unconventional tactics used by the Khajiit in the 5 Years' War against Valenwood. I was stationed at the Sphinx Moth Legion fort on the border near Dune and witnessed many of the northern skirmishes firsthand. The war started with the so-called Slaughter of Torval. The Khajiit claimed that the Bosmer invaded the city without provocation and killed over 1,000 citizens before being driven off by reinforcements from a nearby jungle tribe. The Bosmer claimed that the attack was in retaliation for Khajiit bandits who were attacking wood caravans headed for Valenwood. In the spring of 3E, not 396, the war moved closer to Fort Sphinx Moth. I was posted on lookout and saw parts of the conflict. I later spoke with both Khajiit and Bosmer, who fought in the battle, and it will serve as an excellent example of how the Khajiit use a mixture of ground and tree units to win the war. The Khajiit began the fight in an unusual way by sending tree-cutting teams of Kathayrat and the fearsome Sinchrat, or battle cats, into the outskirts of Valenwood's forest. When word reached the Bosmer that the trees were being felled, allegedly a crime in the strange Bosmeri religion, a unit of archers were dispatched from larger conflicts in the south. The Bosmer were thus goaded into splitting their forces into smaller groups. The Bosmer archers took up positions in the remaining trees, whose branches were now 20 or more feet apart, allowing some light into the forest floor. The Bosmer bent the remaining trees with their magics into small fortifications from which to fire their bows. When the tree cutters arrived the next morning, a half-dozen Khajiit fell to the Bosmer arrows in the first volley. After that, the Khajiit took large wooden shields from the backs of the Sinchrat and made a crude shelter. The Khajiit, even an enormous Sinchrat, were able to hide between this shelter and one of the larger trees. When it became apparent that the Khajiit would not leave their shelter, some Bosmer chose to descend and engage the Khajiit sword to claw. The Bosmer were nearly upon the shelter when the Khajiit began playing on a native instrument of plucked metal bars. This was a signal of some kind, and a small group of the man-like Oms and Omsrat emerged from covered holes on the forest floor. Although outnumbered, they were attacking from behind by surprise and won the ground quickly. The Bosmer archers in the trees would have still won the battle, were they not having troubles of their own. A group of Dagi and Dagi-Rot, two of the less common forms of Khajiit, who live in the trees of the Tinmore forest, jumped from one tree to another under a magical cover of silence. They took upon positions in the higher branches that could not hold a Bosmer's weight. When the signal came, they used their claws and either torches or spells of fire. Accounts from the two survivors I spoke was vary on this point. Distract the archers while the battle on the ground took place. The archers were able to flee, but most were killed. Apparently, the Dagi and Dagi-Rot had more magical ability than is widely believed, if they were able to keep themselves magically silenced for so long. One of the surviving Bosmer told me that he saw a few ordinary cats among the Dagi, and even claimed that these ordinary cats are known as Alfiq, and that they were spellcasters. But Bosmer are almost all as unreliable as the Khajiit when it comes to the truth, and I cannot believe that the house cat can cast spells. At the end of the day, the Khajiit lost perhaps a half dozen fighters out of a force of no more than 4 dozen, while the Bosmer lost nearly an entire company of archers. The survivors weren't able to report back before a second company of archers arrived, and this strategy was repeated again, with similar results. Finally, a much larger force was sent, and the Bosmer won that battle with the help of the native animals of Valenwood. That third skirmish and the Khajiiti response I will discuss in the second volume of this series. Okay, so Khajiiti are very clever fighters, according to that. So this talks about undead. Undead commonly occur in 3 basic types: spirit, flesh, and fleshless. Spirit revenants like the ancestor ghost, wraith, and dwarven ghost can only be harmed by weapons that are enchanted or made of refined substances such as silver. Ancestor ghosts, the most common spirit revenant, are harmless, apart from the minor curses they lay upon their victims. Wraiths are similar to ghosts, but they are capable of inflicting wounds to the careless explorer. Dwarven ghosts are more dangerous still, but they generally appear only in dwarven ruins. Flesh revenants, or zombies as they are often called in the West, are known as bone walkers in Morrowind. Magic preserves the bone walker's fleshy remains along with the bones and spirit. Bone walkers are readily identified by the sharp protuberances of bone and metal employed in the rituals that bind them to this plane. All bone walkers are malevolent and dangerous, but the greater bone walkers are far worse than the more common lesser bone walkers. Thankfully, normal weapons harm bone walkers. It is difficult to generalize about fleshless revenants or skeletons. The agility and fighting ability of the animated remains may depend on the abilities of the revenant's former life, sorry, had to cough for a second, and may therefore be weak or strong, or more or less capable with weapons and shields. Fortunately, enchanted weapons are not needed to destroy skeletons. An exception is the Bone Lord, a peculiar form of revenant that seems to derive its power more from its spirit energies than from the substance of its skeletal remains. Bone Lords are very powerful and very dangerous. Normal weapons do not affect them. Vampires were believed to be extinct in Morrowind for centuries. Dunmer culture has a special hatred for vampires, and in earlier times the Ordinators and buoyant Armigers hunted them to extinction. In recent years, however, vampires have either begun to sneak into Morrowind, or long dormant ones have been awakened. Vampires vary in their substance and power according to their age and accumulated lore, but even the weakest vampire is immeasurably stronger than most other undead. Note, as vampires are not vampires, and are not undead. As vampires are extremely dangerous. While their spirit and substance may indeed be preserved by some magical process, The holy warriors of the Tribunal Temple report that spell effects known to affect the undead have no effect on ash vampires. Interesting. And let's see, we've read that. Talking about vampirism. We know that once you have contracted vampirism, you have 3 days to cure yourself of it. And it can be cured through spellcraft or cult blessings. But once 3 days have passed, the disease is incurable. This talks about different herbs, where they can be found, and some of what they can do. Yeah, you might want to keep that one. Right off the bat, let's go ahead and talk to our friend here.
What do you want? Sarah?
I know this was free, but we'll go ahead and give it back to him. We can sell mixed unit tactics. Vampires of Vvardenfell. And I don't know about mysticism, so let's hold on to that for a second. Where is that one? This talks all about mysticism. Mysticism is the school of sorcery least understood by the magical community and the most difficult to explain to novice mages. The spell effects commonly ascribed to the school of mysticism are as extravagantly disparate as Soul Trap, the creation of a cell that would hold a victim's spirit after death, to telekinesis, the manipulation of objects at a distance. But these effects are simply that, effects. The sorcery behind them is veiled in a mystery that goes back to the oldest civilizations of Tamriel and perhaps beyond. The Psychics of the Isle of Arctaeum have a different term for mysticism, the old way. The phrase becomes bogged in semantic quagmire because the old way also refers to the religion and customs of the Psychics, which may or may not be part of the magic of mysticism. There are a few mages who devote their lives to the study of mysticism. The other schools are far more predictable and ascertainable. Mysticism seems to derive power from its conundrums and paradoxes. The acts of experimentation, no matter how objectively implemented, can influence magicka by its very existence. Therefore, the mystic mage must consign himself to finding dependable patterns within a roiling imbroglio of energy. In the time it takes him to devise an enchantment with a consistent trigger and result, his peers in other schools may have researched and documented dozens of new spells and effects. The mystic mage must thus be a patient and relatively uncompetitive philosopher. For centuries, mostly during the Second Era, scholarly journals published theory after theory about the aspect or aspects of magicka lumped together under mysticism. In the Mages Guild tradition of finding answers to all things, respected researchers suggested that mysticism's penultimate energy source was the Aetherius itself, or else Daedric beings of unimaginable power. Either rationale would explain the seemingly random figurations of mysticism. Some even ventured that mysticism arose from the unused elements of successfully or even unsuccessfully cast spells. Discussion within the order of Psychics after Arctaeum's reappearance has led some scholars to postulate that mysticism is less spiritual in nature, as was originally supposed, and that either the intellect or the emotional state of the believer is sufficient to influence its energy configuration and flow. None of these explanations is truly satisfactory taken by itself. For the beginning student of mysticism, it is best simply to learn the patterns distinguishable in the maelstrom of centuries past. The more patterns are discovered, the clearer the remaining ones become, until, of course, they change. For inevitably, they have to, and then the journey begins anew. So mysticism is kind of like the outlier of magic.
What do you want? Greetings, friend.
If I was to gather that correctly. Oh, that's quick. In the wilds of most every province of Tamriel, descendant philosophy, if not directly from the original inhabitants of the land, are the Ialiads, commonly called the Wild Elves. While 3 races of elven stock, the Altmer, or High Elves, the Bosmer, or Wood Elves, and the Dunmer, or Dark Elves, have assimilated well into the new cultures of Tamriel, the Ialiads and their brethren have remained aloft towards our civilization, preferring to practice the old ways far from the eyes of the world. The Wild Elves speak a variation of Old Hierodilic, opting to shun Tamrielic and separating themselves from the mainstream of Tamriel even further than the least urbanized of their elven cousins. Oops, I did not mean to do that. In temperament, they are dark-spirited and taciturn. Though this is from the point of view of outsiders, or Hawani in their tongue, and doubtless they act differently within their own tribes. Indeed, one of the finest sages of the University of Gwilym was a civilized Eliad elf. Forhane Fire, first 1E 2790 to 2E 227, whose published work on wild elves suggests a lively, vibrant culture. Fire is one of the very few Eliads to speak freely on his people and religion, and he himself said the nature of the Islid tribes is multi-hued, their personalities often wildly different from their neighboring tribes. Like any alien culture, wild elves are often feared by the simple people of Tamriel. The Ialiads continue to be one of the greatest enigmas of the continent of Tamriel. They seldom appear in the pages of written history in any role, and then only as a strange sight a chronicler stumbles upon before they vanish into the wood. When probable fiction is filtered from common legend, we are left with almost nothing. The mysterious ways of the Ialiads have remained shrouded since before the First Era, and may well remain so for thousands of years to come. So, it's another race of elves beyond the 3.
Moon sugar. What is it, friend?
And they're very, very secretive. Gotcha. All right, Mr. Khajiit.
I heard something.
Thank you for letting me purchase a couple of books, read them.
We're watching you, scum.
Yeah. Here I spent some money and you're still calling me scum. How about you bite me? Hi.
You have my blessings, Outlander. How about a potion today? It's not bad when you know your way around. What are you looking for?
Back in time to not say hello to my good friend Tobasha. Well, we could go back and see him. I just read a couple of books I bought from him and then sold them back to him. He made a profit.
A guild guide is a spellcaster of the Mages Guild who provides magical transport for a small
Okay.
fee.
Any rumors?
Can you see Veloth has the divine disease, but she refuses to leave the city.
Any advice?
Vivek is huge. It is easy to get lost. But if you observe the law, you can't get into much trouble. My advice is wander freely. Learn your way around. See what the craftsmen and traders have to sell. See the sights the pilgrims come to see. The Ministry of Truth, the High Fane, the Palace of Vivek. And while you're here, go take a tour of Ebonheart, the imperial town across the lagoon to the west. A lot to see and do over there, too.
Tell me about the Palace of Vivek.
The Palace of Vivek is the abode of the mortal form of the god hero Lord Vivek, the warrior poet of the three deities who comprise Almsivi, the divine patrons of the Tribunal Temple. Only the most devout are admitted to the presence of Lord Vivek, and only at his initiation. Beneath the Palace of Vivek is the Puzzle Canal, a place of worship and testing for questing heroes hoping to receive Vivek's favor. Many choice treasures are guarded by Daedric servants in the Puzzle Canal's dark passages.
Okay. What do you have for sale anyway?
You have my attention, Outlander.
Oh, well, I'm here. Maybe you'll buy this junk I picked up on the way. You don't have a lot of gold, though, so I won't overload you with too much. Hopefully. Oh, not too bad. Um, I'll buy the standard Restore Magicka potion from you. Sell you this Rising Force potion. I guess I don't need this cheap potion of Night Eye, since I have that spell. I'm keeping a couple of Cure Common Disease potions just in case. Just 2. I'm keeping the Cure Blight Disease potions. And the Cure Poison potions. Potion of Dispel. And I guess I should keep the 2 quality restore fatigues just in case I absolutely need them. I'm really not sure this bargain fire resistance potion is useful, but I guess some fire resistance is better than none if I need it. Alright, there we go. Good trade. I made out like a bandit in that one. Any magicka? Well, I just bought a restore magicka. That was what I was buying, a standard restore magicka potion. That's what I just bought. Which I think is the only one I have. No, I also have an exclusive restore magicka. So now I have a standard and an exclusive restore magicka potion in case I need them. Did you want to go in and say hi to Jobasha? Because we're right in front of his door. Always.
If you're here for trouble, you'll get more than you bargain for.
There he is.
Best prices, best selection. What can it do for you?
See, we read a couple of books. I sold a couple of books back because I'd already read them. Usual books. First 5 chapters, first 7 chapters of A Dance in Fire. A Less Rude Song, Ancestors, and the Dunmer. Antidotes of Dwemer Law. First 3 chapters of Biography of Vvardenfell. Lothia's Glory. Brief History of the Empire, first 4 volumes. Jerem's Heart of Antiquina. Chronicles of Newtluft. Confessions of a Skooma Eater, which I said sounds like something that Inigo probably wrote. Fragment on Artacum. Frontier Conquest. Grasping Fortune. In Skyrim, I have a larger library of Dwarven books than Calcamo does. Homilies of Blessed Amalexia, which I've already read. I'm My Own Grandpa. Invocation of Azura. Legions of the Dead, which I read while you were away. It talks about the 3 different types of undead. Lives of the Saints, Mixed Unit Tactics Volume 1, which I've read. Mysterious Akavir, Mysticism, which I've already read. Nagasta Vada Gavakis. There is the Spirit, the Wraith. There's the spirit form, which includes the spirit and the wraith. Then there is the Bone Walker, which is what we refer to as a zombie. And then there's the skeleton form. the spirit form, it can only be harmed by a weapon with magic on it or a weapon made of like silver. The other two can usually be harmed with regular weapons, except for one under the skeleton, which can only be harmed by magical means. The Doors of the Spirit. There was one book I was going to get, and then I decided not to because it was expensive. Oh yeah, it was the volume 2 of Vampires of Vvardenfell. I almost got it, then I realized it was like 400 gold for it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not spending that much on the book right now. Oh, and I read The Wild Elves, which was about the fourth type of elves, the Allied. The Allied. The ones that are so reclusive that almost nothing is known about them. Yeah, the Allied. Some of the words and definitely had me tripping over my own tongue, you know? So, yeah, some interesting stuff today. Thank you, Mr. Dravasha. Good doing business with you, as always. I will certainly be back to see what you have next time. I've not found anybody with any other quest at the moment. Hi, who are you?
Vivek. I'm Saren Othralin. Are you looking for services in the Sacred City? Maybe I can help.
We don't have any quests, though. Hoping for quests.
What do you want?
What's this regarding?
Make it quick, Outlander. Welcome to Vivek. I'm sure you have some questions. What would you like to know?
None of y'all have any quests.
Let's not make this official, Outlander.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the vendor to his destination. We got to visit Dravasha. We had a good time checking out a couple of books. One of the fun things about the Elder Scroll games is the variety of books you get to check out. I do like all the little lore bits that you find in Morrowind and Skyrim, and I imagine in Oblivion too. Although I only got as far as the first Oblivion gate, so I didn't get very far in that so far. Because, well, I'm waiting for Skyblivion. And you need that drink. Okay. We go. You feel stuffed? Got your drink though? Nice old Sprite Zero. Nice. debating whether to take a nice little Silk Strider ride somewhere. Nice. Oh, you typed cold, not old. Well, I mean, old counts too because, you know, Sprite's very old-fashioned. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, let's see what the destinations are. Because why not? We haven't taken a ride in a while because we've been trying to, you know, save up some money.
What was that?
Well, we have a little bit right now.
This is the Silt Strider port for the city of Vivek, Outlander. I'm a caravaner and I manage the Silt Strider port here. Tell me your destination if you're looking for a ride. Or if you're new to Vivek, I can help you with local services or any specific place in Vivek you're looking for. Or if you want someone in particular, maybe I know where to look.
So you could go to Suran. Probably kind of close considering it's cheap. Sedanine, which is definitely close. Balmora. Molagmore. That's it. So where do we want to go? Molagmore? Okay. Well, we'll go. Did I pack some snacks? No, but I think I'll be fine. I do like the slow rides. It's definitely interesting. You have a giant Hershey chocolate bar, but you don't think you intend to share it. Well, that's fine. I've got some dark chocolate sea salt caramels in the kitchen. They're nice chunky squares. I only have like one of them at a time because, you know, that's all you really need. They're actually really good. Of course, I kind of like that combination. You get hit first with the salt, followed by the very, very rich dark chocolate. And then underneath that, you've got the sweet, creamy caramel. See, I've gotten... I kind of lost my taste for milk chocolate a while ago. And not saying I won't eat it still, it just lately I found that most of the milk chocolate that's made is just incredibly too sweet for my taste. So I tend to go more for the dark chocolate. Even if it's a lighter dark chocolate, it tastes better. Ha! You grew up eating Hershey chocolate and shall expire still eating Hershey chocolate. I mean, I think we all grew up eating Hershey. Of course, I also grew up eating Palmer chocolate. You know, all those chocolate bunnies. We went right past a Silk Strider, not Silk Strider, Cliff Racer. I had one poor soul who was so busy gawping at the scenery that she tumbled off the platform. It could have been a very nasty outcome. I'm from about 57. Oh, you're about 75 miles from the Hershey Chocolate Factory, so it's the Hershey or no go. You must be near a Hershey Park, too, if you're that close to a Hershey factory. I mean, I would think at any rate. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are my all-time favorite, and yes, I'm 75 miles from the park. Been there many times. Now, I have to admit, I still do have a very much fondness for Reese's Pieces. I don't even know if they're still made anymore. But, I remember when those came out, they were a lot of fun. But that was right about the time that, E.T. was popular when they came out. I think that Silk Strider is stuck. What do you think? You were going to buy some at the grocery store, but you didn't have any because of villainy. I think that Silk Strider got itself well and truly stuck. Either that or it has a giant itch it can't scratch, right? Oops. Well, nothing I can do to help that. Not like I can help push it along. A Moloch Moor is like a mini version of Vivek. Watching you play makes me look back fondly on when I first played on the Xbox.
Go ahead.
These are the docks of Molag Mar, Outlander, and I'm Rindral Draelor, shipmaster of Molag Mar. What's your destination? If you like, I can tell you about the local services, or point you to a specific place nearby. If you're looking for someone in particular, I might be able to help.
Ooh. Boy, getting the Laud would be expensive. 44 gold he would take me to Laud. Maybe we'll try taking a boat one day. We haven't done that yet. We've taken the Silk Striders a lot, but never taken a boat anywhere. And we can do that scenic travel too. We just got here, let's explore first, then we can take a boat ride. Alright, so. Yeah, I'm sure it's a dungeon. Whoa, it's dark in here. I hate to think what it would look like if I didn't have the gamma up. Hold on. Dang, that's better. A Nord Smith.
Yes?
Hello.
I see by your outfit that your affairs have prospered. Can I help you?
Sure. Will you tell me about the latest rumors here?
Did you hear about the pilgrims headed east of Lake Nabia, northwest of Mount Cand? That's no place for a party of pilgrims.
No, I hadn't heard about it. What can you tell me about Malagmor?
Molagmar Stronghold is a combination frontier garrison and pilgrimage hostel, jointly staffed and maintained by the Tribunal Temple and House Redoran. Both the Temple and House Redoran have garrisons of elite volunteers here to defend the stronghold. Pilgrims use the stronghold as a base from which they can attempt the difficult and dangerous pilgrimages to the Mount Kand and Mount Asarnabibi sites to the north in the Molagamur wastelands.
Well, he was very, helpful. Hello.
Hail, Outlander. I've great prices for you today. Pleased to meet you. I'm Satring. This is Molag Mar. This outpost is maintained by the Temple for Pilgrims and Temple Warriors. Apart from the Ordinators and buoyant armigers here, everyone is either a pilgrim or a tradesman or craftsman servicing the pilgrims. Is there something I can do for you?
Sure, what do you got?
Come, Outlander. Let us do business.
Steel crossbow, huh? You're a smart ass. Does that count? It might. Steel greaves. We're already using steel graves. Crossbow's better than the bow. Yeah, but I don't have any crossbow armor. I only have bow armor. So I would have to have... Yeah, I know what you mean. But I would have to have bolts instead of arrows. So I would have to sell off the bow and all the arrows to get the crossbow, and then I'd have to hope. Well, he has some bone mold bolts. They're not very good, but it looks like that's all the bolts he has. So the crossbow itself may be better, but the bolts he has are junk. Yeah, I've got Gray Shaft of Nonsense. Silence for 5 seconds on target. And I have 46 of those. And I have Cruel Flame Arrows. Fire damage 3 to 7 points on touch. I only have 20 of those. Armor rating 42. Oh, wait. Armor rating 35. So it's definitely a better shield. It's got a better armor rating. It's got a better enchant capacity. It's got a better durability. I think that's the only thing, though.
What was that?
So, got herself a new shield, which is right here. And she also needs to do some repairs, I just realized. Oh, we're out of hammer. Yeah, but we have some repair prongs, so let's try those. Okay. We're paired up. Oh, the cruel fire arrows are the official arrows for Cruel Summer. Hey, I guess that does make sense. So there's her new shield. Nice big tower shield.
Anything I can do for you? Hail, Outlander. I've great prices for you today.
This is 15. Oh, that's me. This is 25. So the repair tongs have more uses on them than the hammer does. Oh, but the hammer has better quality. I see. I should get myself another hammer. Wait, hold on. No, we'll go with the journeyman. One mechanic you wish Skyrim would have kept? What? The having to repair? Thank you. Alright, so we have another hammer on us for when we need to do some quick repairs. Oh, nice room. Okay, so we did get ourselves a new shield, so that's something. What else we got? That just goes back out. That probably just goes back out too. Yep. This light spell is definitely turning out to be useful. How are we doing on our... I think that's illusion? Yeah. Tool of illusion. 23. I think once we get it up to about 30-ish. Thank you. Once we get it up to about 30-ish or so, I might try making an upgraded version of that spell that lasts a little bit longer. You should make a permanent light spell on a ring or something. Well, one, that would probably cost a lot, and two, I kind of want to have something health-wise on rings or something like that. I don't mind having to cast a spell for light, because light is something you only use when you're in the dark, which you're not always in the dark. But you always might get into a fight, you know? There's nothing down there, really. Is Magicka regen in Morrowind? I cannot remember if it does or not. It does. And depending on what your... I think it's intelligent. No, intelligence determines how much magic you have. I'm trying to remember what it is. Can't remember which one it is, but I thought there was one of these also determines how much your magicka is restored, but I don't see it. Intelligence? Okay, because it just says determines your maximum amount of magicka. But it would make sense that it also determines how much you regen your magicka too. And of course, when you're out in the world and you're just running around, the rest of St. Maris is a good one to have, because that one restores stamina. That one I could probably make a better version of, because I've got a pretty good shot of casting it. Alright, how do I get back down? I forgot. There wasn't much in there. I'm disappointed. Although it was interesting enough. And I did get a new shield out of it, so yay. There's that. I guess.
I'm Rindral Draylor, shipmaster of Molag Mar. What's your destination?
So we can go to Telbramora. I've never even heard of Telbramora. Vivek or Hlaod. The Hlaod would cost 44 gold to get there. Vivek 21, but we were just there. And I've never heard of Telbramora. Telbramora? Alright. You say so. Here we go. And we are taking a boat ride. Ooh. This is kind of nice. This is the first time I've taken one. Look at all the cliff racers. They're now pissed off because they can't attack me. Ha 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 ha. Just be glad it isn't a Missouri boat ride. I have taken boat rides down the Mississippi before, so I can't say a word. Paddle boat, no less. Very fun. It's been a long time, though. never saw the Outlaw Josie Wells, eh? If I did, it was when I was a kid. So I wouldn't have remembered it. Unfortunately. Are we going to go somewhere I can get my butt kicked? Probably. But it's still somewhere new. Missouri boat ride is when you shoot the support line of a ferry and it causes the ferry to go out of control down the river. That doesn't sound like fun. That sounds scary. Isn't that anywhere you visit? What? Where I could get my butt kicked? Not always. Well, I've been doing pretty good lately. Yeah, I'm holding my own pretty good against the cliff racers and the Nix hounds and... Well, granted, I haven't gotten swarmed by any cliff racers. But, Iran Manassas Shack. Where on the map am I? I am way down here. This very bottom corner. It won't let you drag the map. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, because there's Vivek, there's Ebonheart, there's Suran, Pelagiad. Oh, you're leaving already? And you just sent me out here to, I don't know, probably die. Alright. Well, you take care of yourself, okay? You have a good rest of your evening and have a great weekend, Nordic, okay? I am but a guiding light. I have guided you to adventure on the other side of the map. But you definitely sent me to a different part of the map, that's for sure. Definitely one I have not seen before. Should be interesting. That's why I'm saving. You're no longer in Kansas, Toto. No, I'm definitely not. Alright, who are you? And why are you all standing around here like this? And what is this place? It's made out of mushrooms, I think. So this is what the Telvanni live in. Good night. Good night, Nordic. Take care. Like you said, you have a good weekend. Oh, you stinker.
Quickly, Outlander. I haven't much time.
You haven't much time, yet you're stuck in place. You got all the time in the world right now. Okay, these houses are interesting. Is this a shop? It's an armorer's shop. Well, you know we've got to come in here.
Don't be shy, Outlander. We don't bite. That is, in Tel Brenora, we only bite fools. I'm Galen Bearer. What can I do for you? So, you want something?
Imperial Dragon Scale Curios. Medium armor, though. Darn it. Oh. Oh.
Mathsera. I would serve you humbly, Master. I am blessed to be at your service. Go ahead, Outlander. You'll bring me good fortune, Outlander. How may I be of service?
There we go.
Go ahead.
I couldn't buy anything from you. You didn't have anything I wanted, but there. I let you repair my stuff. It cost me 4 gold. Have a nice day. That way I don't feel bad by just browsing your stuff and not buying anything. I see y'all gotten stuck. That's very good. I can come be nosy some more. The Stepham's Trade House.
What's this then?
Hello. Training, huh?
How about sharing the wealth? I've lots to show you.
Mysticism, alteration, and restoration. Dude, I am not spending 400 gold for restoration training when I can do that on my own now. Anybody else here? Ooh, this place is neat. Hi.
Good day. I'm Lorena Sethan, publican of the Sethan's Trade House here in... Is there something I can do for you, Outlander?
No, not really. Nice, neat looking place. Not gonna lie. Place is kind of neat looking, but hold on. Maybe it would help if we could see it a little better. There we go. Oh, yeah, this is a neat little place. Weird, but neat. Like the hammock bed. Alright. Thank you for letting me be nosy. Don't even know which way to go next. I didn't realize this place went on and on like this. It looks so tiny. And I guess it's not quite as tiny as it looks from the outside.
busy guy, so if you could hurry this up.
Hola. Albermar, Lower Tower. Albermar, Upper Tower.
That's unusual.
Hello. Ain't nothing.
Let no new thing arise. I'm Muldroni Rendus, and this is Tel Brenora, Mistress Thorana's Telvanni stronghold. Are you looking for services?
What abolitionists, huh? Can you tell me about them?
These outlanders won't be happy until slavery is outlawed. It's our right to have slaves by law and custom, and it's none of their damn business.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
What do you want? I will listen, Outlander, but don't be shy, Outlander. We don't bite. That is, in Tel Brenora, we only bite fools. I'm Vvardenfell. What can I do for you?
Where are the latest rumors here?
Have you noticed, for all its proclamations about protecting the rights of property and preserving law and order, the Imperial Legion does little enough to capture and prosecute abolitionists? That's a bit hypocritical, don't you think?
Okay. What spells do you have? Absorb Fatigue. Alas, Palagimi. Blind 10 to 30% for 30 seconds on touch. Black Hand. Damage health 5 to 12 points for 1 second on touch. Poison 5 to 12 points for 1 second on touch. Concealment. Invisibility for 90 seconds on self. Oh, that's expensive though. Like huge expensive. Dire Noise. Dire Weakness to Fire. Dire Weakness to Frost. Dire Weakness to Magicka. Dire Weakness to Poison. Dire Weakness to Shock. His spells are expensive. Emasculate. Damage Endurance 1 to 20 points for 1 second on touch. I notice his skills mostly run along the lines of destruction, which we're not very good at. Yeah, or mysticism, which we're also not very good at. The only illusion I see is his blinding spell. Oh, and concealment, which is like 860 gold just for that. And the Dire Noise. Alright. Thanks, but no thanks. What's this door? Thorana's chamber. Probably not someplace I should be. The Affairs of Wizards, the House of Troubles, the Doors of the Spirit, the Consolations of Prayer, Aedra and Daedra, Biography of Baron Zaya, Volume 2. Too bad I can't just, I don't know, read them without picking them up. That would be great. Because you could do that in Skyrim. You can open a book and read it and then put it back down and leave it where it was at. Whoa! Ouch. That fell. I fell down in the middle of a hole. That was dumb.
Probably nothing.
Hello.
Quickly out. I see by your outfit that your affairs have prospered. Can I help you?
Any rumors?
Have you noticed, for all its proclamations about protecting the rights of property and preserving law and order, the Imperial Legion does little enough to capture and prosecute abolitionists? That's a bit hypocritical, don't you think?
Okay, so they are really pissed off about these abolitionists. I mean, they just go on and on about it.
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick.
Alright, these places are just neat. And I think you're just gonna have to put up with me for a little while, dude, because I'm gonna hang out for a little while. Before I go, I'm gonna take a moment to thank everybody that stopped by, because, wow, it's been a trek. So thank you to Nordic for stopping in. Appreciate you. I hope you have a great evening and have a great weekend. And yes, thank you for the recommendation on the spells. They've been really helpful. Thank you to Drive By for stopping in, letting me know everything's looking good. I am really glad I managed to get things somewhat properly set up. And even got a decent looking chatbot alternative. So yay for that. And for everybody who might have popped in or out or stuck around for a little while and didn't say anything, well, know that you too are seen and appreciated, but next time, say hi. I promise I don't bite. Even when I am growling about tech issues. Now, if you are interested in some really fun Gamma World action, head on over to the Dungeon Delver on YouTube, who is currently in session. Him and his players will be playing some old school Gamma World, and I promise it is not scripted. There could be a total party wipe and everybody rolling up a new character, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So once again, that is the Dungeon Delver on YouTube, and that is in session right now. Me, I'm heading over there myself right now. And to all of y'all, well, tomorrow, if Drive-By's up for it, we might be flying the friendly skies of Aloft. Sunday, we'll see. Thormern may be up to shenanigans in Lotro, in Mirkwood. And if you don't want to miss all that fun stuff, and you haven't already, you know, do all the fun clicky things the website wants you to do. But for now, I want you all to have a wonderful night, have a great weekend, and until next time, bye for now.